We're going to continue on from yesterday, working with inequalities that we multiply and divide with. I just want to go over a couple of the types of word problems that you're going to see. Some of them will look like this pretty simple. You just got to translate the words into symbols. So half of a number is at most. This is the difficult part with these. It's coming up with the right symbol. And so less than or equal to is correct. You have to think about it. Is at most. It can be this number, so it's got to have the equal sign, but it can't be more than this number, right? So is at most means it's less than or equal to. So half x is less than or equal to 14, and then of course you got to solve that. Multiply by 2. So x is less than or equal to 28. Okay, and you won't have to check these. Well, on your worksheet you might, but we're not going to check them right now. 3 times a number. 3x is no less than. Okay, it can't be less, so it's got to be greater. It could be equal, so 36. So 3x is less than or equal to 36.
Greater than or equal to.
Did I say less than?
Yes.
Sorry. I wrote it the right way at least. So it's greater than or equal to 36. So x is greater than or equal to 12. All right. We have to change our thinking too on these type of word problems. We see problems very similar to this sometimes when we're solving just equations. But when we're doing this in the context of solving inequalities, we need to think in terms of how an inequality would look for a problem like this. So Ron purchased a prepaid phone plan for $50 at 13 cents per minute. How many minutes can Mario talk on this plan? Normally, we would just set this equal, 0.13x equals 50. But we're working on inequalities, so we want to write it as an inequality. So we have to think in terms of the fact that Mario doesn't have to spend all $50, does he?
No.
So he could spend less,
Yep.
but he can spend up to $50. So
0.13x is less than or equal to.
less than or equal to 50, right? Because he could spend less than $50, but he can't spend over $50, right? And he put $50 on there, so he could spend equal to $50. So now we just divide by 0.13. Help me out here with the calculator. X is less than or equal to, yeah, 384.6 what? Minutes. Okay, minutes. He can talk that many minutes. All right. Another example, Roger needs at least $560 to pay for his spring break expenses. He is saving $25 from each of his weekly paychecks. How long will it be before he can pay for his trip? So he has to save up at least $560. Is it okay if he saves up more than that?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So how would we write this one?
25x.
25x, that's the number of weeks he's going to save.
Is greater than or equal to 560.
Right, needs to be greater than or equal to 560. Okay, so divide by 25.
22.4.
X is greater than or equal to 22.4. So if he does this on a weekly basis,
So take him 22.4 weeks.
okay, but is he putting everything in? Is he putting things in at 0.4 weeks? No.
So it'll be 23 weeks.
Yeah, so it's gonna be at least 23 weeks, okay? So 23 would be the whole number that we'd go with for this one. All right. The other thing that I want us to look at is being able to, we've done this where we take an inequality and we write we graph an inequality. Now I want to take the graph and write 2 inequalities to match the graph. This is kind of the thing that we're going to add to the worksheet. So, can't see it too great from back there, can we? I didn't make the circles big enough. Can you tell if that's filled in or not filled in? It is not filled in. Okay, and since it's not filled in, that tells us we'll either need less than or greater than, but we won't have the equal sign, right? Okay, so how would you write an inequality for this? -2
Is less than X.
less than X, okay? What would the second inequality be? So we can write 2.
X is greater than -2.
There you go, X is greater than -2. Once you have one of them written correctly, you can just turn it around and it will still be correct. So, a few more examples. Write 2 inequalities for each graph.
One is
Less than.
1 is
Greater than.
greater than, this one's filled in, or equal to X, and then,
X is
Less than or equal to 1.
okay, this one is not filled in.
0 is less than X.
0 is less than X.
X is greater than 0.
X is greater than 0. I like it. Okay,
3 is greater
Greater
than
is greater
No, it's not.
it's not filled in, so 3 is greater than X, or
X is less than 3.
X is less than 3. Good.
Negative 3 is less than or equal to
X. X is greater than or equal to negative.
All right. Good. All right. No, that went a lot quicker than I thought it would. You guys are brilliant. Good job. So today, what I want you to do is this: finish up that worksheet that the rest of the problems on that worksheet that we just went over, and I'm going to show you the next slide. I've got some inequalities graphed, and I want you to write the 2 inequalities for each one. So just number 'em 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I numbered them on here. Maybe I'll do that real quick.
2 or
So write 2 inequalities for each graph. So this one would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Does that make sense? Number those on the back of your worksheet and just write the inequalities on the back of your worksheet.
There isn't a match for 1.
1, 2,